So the question of how to bring more retail to Iowa City, particularly on the east side, is actually of a lot of interest to me, not only as a candidate, but as a resident. I live in the South District, and I used Iowa City Marketplace and Lucky's until it closed and they departed, which made me sad at first, but I also realized this was a great opportunity, and so did all of the residents. So I created a study, actually, or a survey, that I posted on social media about what should go into Lucky's space. And over 200 of you and myself responded, and I then went to City Council and I posed the results to them to try and get more awareness of what this side of town wanted and what we felt was needed. So obviously we didn't get the target on the east side, but we did get a target, so perhaps there's some progress there. But in terms of really attracting different retailers to the east side, what I learned from that entire process was that it really is about collaboration. It's about getting the right stakeholders, especially and particularly the residents, to talk about what our needs are, and then to draw in the small business owners, ICAD, the Chamber of Commerce, the representatives from the mall itself at Iowa City Marketplace, so that our needs are understood, but then we can also know who's interested in investing in the area. How do we end up bettering the entire community through these neighborhood improvements and by bringing retail in places where it's needed? Right now, there are no dry goods. There's no soft retail on the east side. We have to go down all the way to Walmart or out to Coralville. These are things that we need to continue to make sure that council knows. And as a council member, I would actually be the person who would continue to say, what about the east side? So I hope that this gives a little bit of daylight on the way that I think about retail on the east side.
We can attract more businesses to Iowa City, and particularly the east side, by leveraging our existing partnerships and collaborating with those whose main focus is drawing business into Iowa City. This means working with our partners like the Iowa City Area Development Group and the Iowa City Area Chamber of Commerce to help draw the kinds of businesses that we would like to see. The city's role in this relates more to planning and to zoning in order to make sure that we are being proactive in establishing places and spaces where businesses that our residents want to see can thrive. I live on the east side of Iowa City myself and shopped at Lucky's all the time. Was very disappointed when that store closed. Was also disappointed when Von Mauer left that space. And so I understand what it's like to be in a part of the community where we may not have the options that we would like to see. So I also am in favor of the city considering incentives for businesses in appropriate circumstances. I'm a fan of the 2017 revised TIF policy that the City Council enacted a couple of years ago. And I think it's important that we keep in mind the competition that we have with our neighbors and look regionally and holistically when we're talking about attracting businesses to Iowa City, regardless of the area of town. We know what our neighbors are doing, and we know that we need to be a place where opportunities arise both for the businesses who might want to come here as well as for our residents.
First, I agree with your Facebook followers. I believe there is a shortage of options on the east side. And I think that the city needs to prioritize building up some sub-hubs or nodes of commerce around the city, whether it's the Sycamore Mall area, Towncrest, or the east side. And I think the downtown district may be able to lend some of its expertise. Making it a priority will help. It will help the environment because people can then get to places by walking or biking to get their basic needs met without having to get into a car. I would also add that I think we shouldn't forget the west side. We could use some more of that too. I would love to be able to just get on my bike or walk to a store to get some basic things. This will make us into more of a community with neighborhoods that are more cohesive, and I don't believe it will take anything away from the downtown.
Finding a proper housing balance between students and the general population has been extremely challenging for decades. Historically, students have had limited on-campus housing opportunities, forcing them off campus into the core neighborhoods surrounding the university. Consequently, neighborhoods have high percentages of students, despite the city's efforts to achieve a better balance. More recently, the university has shown interest in providing university-sponsored housing for its first and second-year students. This initiative has been driven by the higher academic success rate of students residing in university housing. Should the university proceed with this initiative and offer housing at an attainable cost, the city's efforts to achieve a better balance in the core neighborhoods will significantly benefit. A second factor that may improve the core neighborhoods' housing balance is the considerable amount of student-oriented apartments recently built in both Iowa City and Coralville. As the student housing supply increases and vacancies rise above historically low percentages, we may see students leaving the core neighborhoods to take advantage of the increased supply and possibly competitive rents. A third piece of the puzzle is the city's strategy to manage the impacts of high percentages of students in the core neighborhoods while attracting families, empty nesters, and working adults by improving the quality of life in the neighborhoods. Park and school renovations, better bike infrastructure and walkability, as well as strengthening the downtown. Achieving the goal of a proper balance will require ongoing comprehensive efforts by both the university and the city for years to come. I'm deeply committed to this goal.
Assuring a sound local economy and hence a healthy business environment can help to make Iowa City attractive to potential businesses. Playing a major part in that is for the city to continue to maintain the Moody's AAA bond rating. I am confident that the city's finance department will continue to do whatever they've been doing to achieve this. There are a number of vacant storefronts throughout the city, including the East Side. The East Side Marketplace should be strongly considered as a prime location for new businesses. An impediment is quite likely rental costs for existing spaces. Property owners should be open to lowering rental amounts in order to attract businesses. Perhaps the city should consider incentive options such as tax abatement, financial assistance to remodel a building, or even serving as a guarantor to small business loans. The city should continue to work closely with the Chamber of Commerce, Downtown District, and the Iowa City area development groups to highlight positive features of Iowa City that would be attractive to potential businesses. I love Iowa City. I've lived here for almost 50 years. I would like to do whatever I can to ensure that it continues to thrive. I am open to any ideas that members of the community might have to ensure that.